Yo, this is B-Boy Tech coming to you with another episode of this little mini vlog series that I'm doing on the MPCX. This could go on forever, quite frankly. But at any rate, what we're doing this time around is we're going to talk about the MPCX CV. So 5 things about the MPCX CV is what we're getting into. I'll be talking about how you can send a gate out to trigger a drum in your Euro rack, how you can send clock out, or how you can, I guess, assimilate clock out. It's still clock, but there's a little bit of to do it. And I'll show you how to send clock out, show you how to send gate out. I'll show you how to set up a CV program so that you can play melodies and control it with MIDI keyboard. I'll also show you how to set up the mod wheel via CV so that you could take a mod wheel to, say, filter frequency and be able to kind of play your soul parts. And in this particular piece, we'll be using a couple of pieces. We'll be looking at braids. That's one module where the kick will be coming from. We'll be looking at qubit chord is where the melody will be coming from, and we'll be using the Rossum evolution filter is where the mod wheel will be going to, and tempi is where clock will be sent to. So yeah, let's get into it. This is 5 things about the MPCX CV. Let's go. So yo, all right, let's talk about this. The first thing I want to show you about CV. Simple enough to set up. So I'm on track 1, it's empty. We can see there's a drum program. I want to change that to CV program. And by default, boom, that's the first thing. You see CV program 1 and the settings. CV port is 1 and gate is CV port 2. So basically these wires, 1 and 2, instantly become pitch and gate out of pitch out of 1 and gate out of 2. So that's the first thing, is how you set that up. Let's say before we get started with a melody, we want to send clock. Now, what you want to pay attention to is where I'm pointing to, right over there. The modular, that's the tempi. Those lights represent different tempos coming out of the 6 outputs of the tempi. That thing can trigger all kinds of things in the modular, but you can send clock to that and then have six outputs of clock out of that you can clock the rest of your modules with. So what's dope about this setup is that I can send gate out of the MPCX that will essentially act like clock going to the tempi, and then the tempi will clock everything and be lockstep with my sequence that I'm doing on the MPCX. And here's how you do that basically. First you have to set it up where I want CV port 1 to send gate. So, all right, make another CV program. We'll turn CV port, which is pitch really, turn that off, and then for gate, we'll turn that to 1. That's the cable that I have here going to tempi right there, right? So now we have CV port 1 assigned to gate going out to the tempi. And now we're going to add triggers with the step sequencer. Simple enough, we're going to go to bar 1 and add 16th notes. Bar 2, bar 3, and bar 4. Boom. So the time division is 16 and we're good to go. So, but when I press play, you're gonna all of a sudden focus on those lights up there. When I hit play, you'll see those lights start to go with the metronome. There. So, simple enough. Now you're clocking your modular via MPCX. So. So here's another cool thing. You can control your CV outs via your Q links in program mode. So we're going to put that in program mode, and then the first 8 Q links start to control your CV out. If you could see this, this goes from 0 to 5 volts. So 0 to 5 right there. And all the rest of these, depending on what they are assigned to, when you tweak these, like if this was gate, I can open the gate up a little more, or I can close the gate down a little more. Depending on how you played it, the gate will be dictated according to what you played. But this is actually real dope because it gives you some control. And this is also how you can record automation with CV and Q links. So you could set up CV4 to control the frequency of the filter being controlled by this Q link knob right now. And then you can hit record and go ahead and tweak that, and you'll be tweaking a parameter of your modular. So yeah, that's another dope thing. Things to note, it goes from 0 to 5 volts, and you have control of your 8 CV outs right here with your Q links. All right, so another thing that I wanted to show is how you can trigger a kick drum just with a gate. Just sending a gate out to trigger a kick drum in your modular setup. This is how you do that. We'll do CV4. And what I want to do is, again, turn off pitch. I'm not going to assign CV port because that controls pitch. I'm going to assign the gate to port 8 because I know that port 8 is this guy. So there's a couple things. As you can see, Tempe is still being clocked, right? This one is multiplied, but all of the outputs, that shows you the Tempe is being clocked. So you could do something simple like take one of those gates out of there and run it to whatever module you want to trigger with the kick. Like so. But in my case, in this case, what I wanted to show you is triggering it directly from the MPC. So I've set it up so that CV gate is port 8. I'm going to take my wire from port 8 and put it into that same trigger. Nothing happens, but until you start to record pulses on there. So let's do a program. And there your triggers along the bottom there, and you're getting your kick. This is the kick from the braids, and you can see here, I'll go ahead and change some of the characteristics. All right, so that's how you would go ahead and do actually 2 ways for you to trigger something. If you have something like Tempe that you can run a clock into, clock Tempe, and then throw a trigger out of that, and you can do what you need to do. Or you can do it directly from CV gate by setting up the CV channel like so that everything is off on the CV program, whichever port you're going to take a wire from to your module, and that gives you. All right. Now let's set up a melody, and we'll go back to another one of the programs that was set up. We'll do CV001 program. I know that the red one is port 2 and the blue one is port 3. So we're going to set this up. We're going to set the red as pitch and the blue as gate. So that means on the CV port setting for CV001, I want to change CV port to CV2, gate port to CV3. Now I'm going to take this and let's go into chord. So this is pitch, and that'll go into CV. We're going to take the mix. So you can already start to hear that, you know, chord is going, it's rolling. Now I'm going to take the gate for that CV program and throw it in there. Now it doesn't react unless I hit a pad. And that's all because I have pitch going to volts per octave and the gate going to the VC. So it's cutting it off when I let go of the pad. So this is how you would really create a melody. I'm gonna add a little delay. We're playing chord by way of CV from the MPC. And so I have a MIDI'd up keyboard. And notice my pitch wheel doesn't work. All right, so, but that's not a problem. We can patch up the pitch wheel. So let's go back to that same program. So let's go to the CV program. We're gonna change the mod wheel to 1, 2, 3, 4. CV gate 4. So I have CV gate 4 assigned to mod wheel, and it's going to the filter. So when I play, now we're going to play, because all of these keyboards are MIDI'd up to the MPC. You can record that just as easy. And that's how it works. So when it's all said and done, you got quite a few things going on here. You got a melody coming from CV ports 2 and 3, right? That's dealing with the chord. And then you have a kick being triggered from CV port that's coming from braids. Then you've mapped mod wheel to CV4, and that's controlling the filter that you're hearing sweeping through. And you're clocking tempi. so that now I can start to clock all kinds of modulation sources and different things that'll all stay on beat with my melody and my beat. So those are 5 things about the CV on the MPCX.